Hello, we are the Dice Jailers back with our continuing campaign. I am your DM, Bjorn Anders, and we're at episode 51. Thanks to all y'all who checked out our super ridiculously long episode 50. There was a full viewer room. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Jordan, who do we have to thank and talk about?
We've got our usual friend shout-outs, Smoking Glue Guns, Anti-Heroes Anonymous, The Ugly Radio, Save the D8, No Latency, The Dice Cast Gaming. Yeah, I don't have any new announcements for me personally, but I know we have a special announcement.
Oh, that's me. Hi. Yeah, so I am in another live play podcast. Except we're not playing D&D this time. We are playing Vasen, which is a Scandinavian, but we're setting it in old Seattle. Anyway, I'm not sure when it's going to be out, but hey, if you happen to find it, and I don't know, maybe one day it'll be out. But Spirits and Monsters of Old Seattle is the name of our new podcast. Yeah. If you've never looked up, by the way, the history of Madame Lou in Seattle, I strongly
she's so
suggest
cool.
that you do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So cool.
Thanks, Jordan.
Yeah.
Back to you.
With that, well, thanks, Phoenix. Now to Jamie with the weather.
I actually have a show to announce. It is going to feature Bjorn and myself. It is going to be, when you're seeing this in a couple of days, well, you're seeing this whenever because of the power of the internet. But if you're watching this live, it is going to be Sunday, July 9th at, oh God, I always confuse. Okay, Volunteer Park. I have a mental block between Volunteer and Discovery Park, which if you do not live in the Seattle area, makes no sense to you. And actually, even if you do live in the Seattle area, it probably makes no sense to you because they're not near each other. But at Volunteer Park, at 5 p.m., on the amphitheater stage, Shakespeare Northwest proudly presents Happily After Ever, which I think is a confusing title, and it was not my idea. And it is a mashup of Shakespearean tales and fairy tales, some of which you may be familiar with from a company run with like a mouse figurehead that we really shouldn't, discuss any further. Like the sniper dot appears on my forehead. Yeah. I'm doing a great job of selling this. It is part of the Outdoor Theater Festival, which Green Stage puts on every summer, and there's a whole bunch of free theater happening, specifically Shakespeare flavored. So you can come see us and also other people, but mostly us.
And if you are planning on seeing The Tempest by Seattle Shakespeare Company that evening, we go on right before them. So come see us, and you can probably get a really good seat for Seattle Shakes. So we'll be hanging out in the audience to watch that one for sure, because I like The Tempest a lot.
Is it time for the other Jamie announcement?
It really is.
Oh, hi. On the screen somewhere, it's been 2 weeks, so I have forgotten literally everything. Jordan is pointing at it and Phoenix, no. Phoenix can't be trusted. Jordan is pointing. Our lovely showcase model, Jordan, is indicating this is the direction where you could send us actual human monies. And if you can't read, for some reason you were just listening to this, it is Ko-fi.com/dicejailers. That is ko-fi.com/dicejailers. And you could go to that website and you could send human monies to us, with which we are currently, the plan is to get custom character art for all of us. I am friends with the person who is doing it. They are currently working on it. They're very hyped. And we are hoping to have that to show y'all sooner rather than later. And they are a young person who is involved in technical theater, and so they need, and they're going to Cornish, which is expensive, so the money will be very helpful to us and to them. So if you don't care about us, please, won't you look at the children? Thank you very much. And money, please.
And lastly, as always, the music during our campaign is brought to you by Sirenscape. They are awesome. Sirenscape is a great way to add ambiance to your tabletop game, whether you do it virtually or in person, and they're cool because they'll let you use their stuff for streaming stuff like this, even if you're not big and fancy and you're just a bunch of yokels having fun. So yeah, Sirenscape, they kick ass. With that said,
No!
No!
that was a misclick. My finger honestly slipped and I clicked the wrong one.
My heart rate is horrible. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody check. Everybody, if you have a Fitbit, go ahead and check it.
We're gonna go heart rate monitor for Jamie.
There we go.
Yeah, it's like, you've reached your goal heart rate. I'm like, no, thanks.
This is the one.
We'll do a live show again. We'll get a Jamie heart rate monitor up on the screen.
You all are currently in the town of Willowshire. You've come here largely led by Garnet, at the request of two well-renowned gnomish thieves, individuals by the names of Ilona Goldcloak and Grenla Bellowtrick. These two have been in the game for a couple centuries, and those in the know much about their exploits. Legendary thieves. And Garnet's setting up of a location to possibly fence goods or set up whatever sort of business empire she may be planning, legitimate or otherwise, had gotten back to them, and they're impressed with the entrepreneurship, desire to be an entrepreneur, whatever the word for that is, or want to be an entrepreneur, they like it. And thus, Garnet has brought you all here. Now, on the way here, you were previously in the Whispering Wood in Pohaku's home, and after traveling through said woods, you encountered Kuroros, the right hand of the Earl King, and combat ensued. You were successful in surviving the ordeal, and you slew said emissary, his magical staff now belonging to the one he came to claim, Manic Soul. And that's a nifty little item right there. When you reached this town, Garnet was informed to go to a tavern called the Clever Whisper, and through some speaking in code would be able to arrange this meeting with these two. You were seated at a table, and these two women walked in, sat down, and there was a bottle of booze on the table, and they informed you all that you had until they reached the end of the bottle for this conversation. And so that's where we're picking up with you all there. And Garnet, you haven't really told all your allies exactly what the process or plan here is. Reba's picked up on it a little bit, due to the fact that she knows thieves can't, and has been discussing some of this stuff with Garnet. And so Reba kind of sitting somewhat close to Garnet, just trying to look tough, which she's very good at, being the strong, silent type. And these two look you over, and Ilona, she's wearing just very classic thieves leathers, not like super like dark. This is not your classic like grimdark. Ooh, I'm a broody rogue. But Garnet, you would recognize the style of the clothing. Hidden pockets, easy places to like either hide a blade or a key, or like maybe a toolkit on the inside. Wrists, very vibrantly colored though, and the other wearing a long cloak, suggesting possibly being magically inclined. And it'll actually be that one, the wizard Grenla, who will speak. Well, she pours a round of drinks for everyone. Sounds like you're looking to make an even bigger name for yourself, aren't you?
I mean, only in the right ways. It's an honor to meet you both, and I appreciate you taking the meeting. And as she's doing this, she's trying to kind of subtly let them know, True Thieves can't, most of these folks don't really know who and why. But it is, I haven't been at home, in the Glimmer Shore for a while. So this is just an exciting homecoming. But on my travels, I got to go up to Silent Gulch and among some other areas. And we opened up some property up there. Maybe looking for some facilitation of trade between various entities. Wondered if you knew anyone who might be interested.
See, that's exactly what we were hoping you would say. We have, over the past month or so, well, we've become a bit overstocked. And business has been good, but when business becomes a little too good, sometimes you have to expand. Now, we've certainly become very proud of the work we do here in Glimmer Shore, and there have been a few individuals within the Whispering Wood who have become curious enough to wander out to do a little business here or there, and while they don't usually deal in coin, they often bring things far more interesting. But the assemblage, that is a vast, untapped market for much of what we sell. Now, folks there, they can't always get the goods they want. Let's face it, tariffs on imperial goods are practically insurmountable for a lot of folks up there. And so we thought to ourselves, why don't we step in and increase the products available throughout their amazing nation? Of course, we stand to profit from it, but that's the nature of business, right?
I mean, if there's a market, supply and demand, it's really that simple.
And that's precisely how we see it. The Empire has, well, they've foolishly reduced their own demand. Oh, they have plenty of supply, but they're just so bristly towards the Northerners. And frankly, I don't understand it. Every time I've been up there, I have had a delightful time. Have you ever been to the Harvest Festival?
That's where I met all my friends. Siobhan is from up north there in Ruby's Crossing. So maybe you've heard of the Finnegan?
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to stop you right there because I was already pretty sure I shouldn't be hearing this. And 100% you will not involve my parents' name.
No, I am, I would like your advice on the types of products that those in the assemblage would maybe want greater access to.
Oh, trust me. We are very familiar with the work of Colm Finnegan, and trust me, smithing is the last endeavor we would attempt to get into up in the assemblage. I can barely swing a hammer. She has no idea how to work a bellows. The two of us, trying to enter the smithing business in the same sphere as, I don't know, arguably the most famous smith in the Western realms, not a chance.
Good. You know then where to stay away from and where to go.
We we have our own way of doing business. Some of what we have for sale, well, let's just say it's been liberated from those who either created it or came about it through less than acceptable means.
Siobhan is going to raise her hand and say, I'm very sorry. I've already heard more than I want to. I cannot be involved in this, and is going to get up and leave.
I probably shouldn't as well. And I'll go with Siobhan.
Well, no disrespect to your friends. Not everybody is comfortable with what we do.
I'm just going to look quickly over to Garnet and just be like, I'm trying to be subtle, probably not pulling it off real well. And it's just kind of like, you want me here? You should go. I'm like,
Just doing business, Pohaku, whatever you'd like.
I'm Pohaku. How can I help?
Well, certainly we're not going to put you in charge of any formal negotiations. Doesn't feel like that's exactly your specialization.
I'm an attempt negotiator.
And they point back at you, Garnet. You clearly have the gift, Gab. That's important. So here's the thing. We don't want anyone who's purchasing these goods to be at any sort of risk in terms of, well, the idea of contraband. So we have to sometimes move things from one place to another, and sometimes we need to alter their overall state before we can do that. We have some incredible alchemists in our employ. But yeah, here's the thing. When we catch wind of someone who's grave robbing or extorting or frankly is just kind of real shitty overall, we take it upon ourselves to help liberate the source of the issue here. Now, once it's in our hands, we need to do something with it. And since we took the risk on liberating it, we stand to make a profit. Now, here's where you come in. We're interested in bringing you into the business, but I'm sure you can guess it's not going to be just as easy as that.
Why would it be?
Exactly, because that's not any fun. So,
she likes fun.
But I hope you like the fun we have lined up. We have got a little test for you all. Now, your friends who had issue with the tone of the conversation, and again, that's fine. I take no offense to it. I don't know that they're going to have so much issue with assisting you on this. Maybe it's a matter that they would rather know less. Maybe they don't want to be involved. But
yeah, frankly, I didn't think we were going to be having this conversation at the table, so I didn't really prepare them or monitor the situation.
I'm very good at tests, too.
That's good, because this will be a fun one.
Does it involve a forgotten god?
I don't think so. Are any of the things we have religious? No, I don't think any of them are religious at all. That I don't like messing with any of that. Yeah, me neither.
So you're saying it doesn't involve, what is it called? It doesn't involve...
Scantron?
Oh, I'm just waiting for Bjorn to say it instead of me.
The forgotten god.
Yeah, that's the one.
No, not so much any of that. Basically, we've built up a bit of a stock. Weapons, armor, tinkerer's kits, potions, poisons, whatnot, all sorts of tools that trade, and we need to get them from point A to point B. A associate of ours in Tinkerborough, Howrick Cinderbrook, you may have heard with him. Blacksmith, owns the Glimmering Forge. We'll give you a letter to bring to him, and he'll give you a few crates that we need brought to Gizmopolis. There's a store there called the Graceful Mouse. Now, the proprietor of it, Valwyn, he's a good friend. Knows what to do.
I'm sorry, what was his name?
Valwyn. He knows where these need to get. We have a few people we need to arm. We have a few people who have need of those potions, and people are always in the market for enchanted tinkerers kits, and the right bidder sometimes interested in poisons. Ironically, we actually sell most of those to people who are in the field of medicine so they can research them for antitoxins. Big market there. Piece of advice: if a doctor is ever purchasing for you for research on antitoxin, you charge them no more than half price. You mark that shit down. It's just good for the soul. It's just good for the soul. So, we need that delivered, but here's the catch. And at that point, Ilona will speak up and take over the conversation, because you see there's always a catch. You won't be the only group working on this. You get to make a choice. Offense or defense. See, we've been in touch with and we've conscripted a second group into this. Now, you own the property up north, which is why you get the choice of which one you want. They get second pick. They have a little less to offer. But what will happen is one group will acquire the goods and have to deliver them to Gizmopolis, and the other one's job will be to liberate the goods from the first group and deliver them themselves. Should you choose to be on defense and start with the goods, and they get taken from you, you can't always take them back. They must get there intact, and if either group kills a member of the opposite group, the entire group is disqualified. This is about your skills of subtlety, deception, protection, and smuggling. This is not about violently taking each other out. We don't do that. If you leave a trail of bodies, you leave a trail that leads back to you. That's your other piece of free advice. Be careful about leaving trails of blood. Dogs will find you.
What if there's no blood when you kill him?
Figure of speech.
Noted.
Corpses always bring more questions. And they also bring vendettas with them. Now, that's not to say there aren't people who need killing from time to time. But if you're going to do it, make sure it's what they need, not what you want.
What do we get to know about the other group? Do we get to meet them?
You will. I'm arranging to have you all leave the Glimmering Forge around the same time. In fact, the group on offense will choose if they want the head start or if they want the couriers to have the head start. The idea is, do you want to try and set up an ambush, or do you want to be the hunters? Only fair to let them decide that, since you're deciding whether or not you're going to be on offense or defense. Full disclosure, that's who gets to make that choice. Defense knows what their job is. They have the courier. Offense deserves some level of surprise. They're a very interesting group, but I think you all will pose a challenge for each other.
Have I heard of them? Can you give me their names? This might help my decision making.
They go by the name of the Low Elves.
Other
Of course they do.
I knew it! I knew it! Jordan was on record! I was messaging Jordan going, it's the fucking Low Elves.
Are you aware that we have a history?
You do?
We were in the assemblage at the same time.
Garnet, roll an insight check.
Alright. Dice. I've got those. Let's see. Oh, cool. 4.
Impossible to read.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Amazing. When do I have to decide? Offense or defense? And what sort of timeline are we talking about here?
Well, you have until you get to the smith's shop to decide. Our preference is that you arrive there within the next 5 days. That'll give you plenty of time for travel, whichever way you decide you want to get there. Book passage out of town on one of the caravans. That'll get you to Berryhaven in about a day. And same thing, Berryhaven on over. Take about a day as well. So you get to Tinkerborough in as quickly as 2 days. So decide by the time you get there. And if for some reason you decide this job is not for you, no harm done. Just know we don't come knocking twice.
Okay. This is exciting.
Glad you think so. We couldn't agree more. It has been quite a while since we've brought anyone into the fold. You have potential. We've seen the way you work. We have a lot of respect for anybody who holds themselves to a certain code or moral standard.
So there's this new thing that I want to try. I think it would be a really good way to identify people with potential.
We're listening.
The concept of put pocketing. Identify someone who needs something particularly small, and instead of taking something in a pickpocketing situation, you pocket the thing that someone needs. It would be a good way to train without negative consequences of being caught.
I like where your head's at.
This is going to become the thing. You'll see. And I'm trademarking it now.
I look forward to seeing how that unfolds, because that sounds like a blast to me.
Garnet is going, while she's doing this and having this conversation and kind of leaning in, she is going to try to put a gold piece in whichever one of the two of them is sitting closest to her.
Let's see here. Let me roll for it. Odds, it's Ilona. Evens, it's Grandma.
May I do anything to distract and try to assist? Or is this... I probably wouldn't even notice you trying to do this.
Alrighty, so yeah, I don't know. It depends on what it is that you want to try and do. Okay, so I will say it is the rogue Ilona is the one that's sitting closer to you. But I just look; they both have the exact same perception score.
Okay.
So your sleight of hand versus this perception.
Great. 14. Let me add that D8. Woman's at 18.
So, where do you slip this gold piece as she's talking to you?
You said this was
you are successful. You are successful on that.
Oh, and probably just like if she's got any like cuffs or anything like on her arm, I would try to like kind of slip it in there.
Okay. And so I would just say, just kind of like, talking with your hands and whatnot, kind of the gestures, like you set your hand on the back of somebody's while you're talking to them, like, oh my god, yes, I totally agree with that. And you find you are effortlessly able to slide that gold piece into her left bracer.
And then I'll just thieves can't left bracer.
Just kind of looks at you odd. You are good.
Imagine the joy it would bring.
Okay. We're talking to the right people.
My values, and it's just important to me. It sounds like we're aligned on who to involve in business and who to not involve in business. That matters to me.
Matters to us too. We don't deal with people who brand themselves as cutthroats. Period. We're not going to pretend like we've never worked with anyone who's cut a throat along the way, nor am I going to tell you that I haven't. But like many people in this world, I've done what I've needed to. So have others. But people who are out to just steal from whoever for profit, for hurting, no. Not a chance. Now, for those who, through very unscrupulous means, have amassed far more goods than they possibly need and are actively causing pain to others through doing so, well, it's just the right thing to help redistribute that. I'm sure there's a religious passage or two out there about this that would say we're doing something very pious and devout. I'll leave that to the clerics.
It's just the right thing to do.
Exactly.
Yes. Last thing, I mentioned the Finnegans. Hands off, 100% when we are in business and you're up there. Also, we'll have to discuss my very good relationship with the marshals up there.
The fact that you have a good relationship with the marshals, that's ideal. We can tell you now, we're not looking to cut in on any of the commerce that keeps the assemblage afloat. What we are looking to do is fill in some of the gaps. Maybe some of the goods they don't get up there so often. And nothing that we have sourced is from the assemblage. This is strictly an import business.
Sounds great.
And mind you, not all of it is redistributed goods. Some of what we have, frankly, is just contraband in other nations, and folks like to go up to the assemblage to be able to purchase things that maybe they can't get back home so much. And we just hope to facilitate, because let's face it, there are some folks within Stone Spire that are very picky about the types of pipeweed that they prefer their citizens do or do not imbibe in, and there are some you just can't purchase within that mountain. And if a dwarf is on vacation and he wants to sample the goods of the Whispering Wood, why, hey, who are we to prevent that from happening?
It's just good business.
Exactly.
There
are needs in this world that need to be fulfilled, and we believe in filling those needs. We don't believe in hurting people to do it, though. Once you start going down that path, people don't come back. You don't work in this business for over 2 centuries without learning a few things.
Well, it sounds like we will be seeing each other again in Kinklerborough.
Absolutely will.
At
we look forward to it.
The Glimmering Porch.
That's the plan. Now, when you need to find us, we'll be staying at the Tranquil Hideaway. Just leave word with the proprietor. He'll get the message to us. We have a very strict do not disturb policy when we stay there, so you won't be meeting with us in person there, but you will at the Forge.
Okay.
They pour out the last of the bottle. Say, well, I feel like this has been a very productive meeting, but according to this bottle, our time's up.
I think we're good.
Look forward to seeing you there. And they will stand up, begin heading out, and one of them will toss a small sack of coin to the bartender.
As they leave, Garnet will wave over to Siobhan and Kira if they stayed in the tavern, that it's like safe to rejoin.
And in the process of all this was going down, Siobhan, Kira, what have you guys been up to?
So I'm trying to remember if we're in a different we're in a different place than where we've been staying, or okay?
Yes, the tavern and where you're staying, I believe, are two different locations.
Yeah, I think Siobhan would just like get up and she's definitely not trying to make a scene, or definitely trying not to make a scene. But just kind of like get up, go up to the bartender to like order something, and then sit down on like the other side of the room.
Yeah, and drink is provided for you.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah, Schlancha. Well, that was a little bit strange.
I mean, gotta do what you gotta do.
No, I just mean the lack of heads up.
I mean, yeah, maybe, but I'd chalk it up to excitement. Those are basically Garnet's heroes.
Yeah. And I don't want to be able to kill, I just don't, they mentioned the illegal importing of goods, and then she immediately dropped me Pa's name, and I can't know anything about this. I cannot know anything about this.
Well, I mean,
I don't want him associated, even accidentally, because I was there.
And that's fair. But seeing as the whole thing is supposed to be secret, might be alright.
I don't want to know. I'm not going to try to stop anything, I just don't want to know about it.
Yeah, fair enough. So, with all of your time smithing, has there ever been people that have tried to muscle in? Like, do some thievery on your shop, or
that's literally
try to demand collections, like.
Well, literally, that's how I met Ruby. Wait, no, what's her name? Reba. I haven't seen her in so long. Reba. That's literally how I met Reba. Is she tried to steal from us?
Oh, right. It's been a while since you told us about how y'all met.
Right.
But so like, maybe it might not be a bad idea to get in with potential people that could try to do some redistributing of goods, so you can, from the inside, lead them away. We've done weirder stuff in the census before.
I mean this respectfully, but if you're telling me it's the way you do things in the census is not the way to make me think it's a good idea.
I mean, there's also been operations in the census to go literally save orphanages, so I'm just saying, I hate them too, but there's,
Siobhan is just internally, manfully resisting the urge to say, right, and how did those orphans come to be orphans in the first place? But, could be own personal bias. So, no, as for the protection money, people tend to look out for each other in the assemblage. There isn't really that I'm aware of an organized crime, and as I'm coming to find out, Mipa is apparently world famous, so you're very hard pressed to sell something of his, because if you try to sell it, anyone who would know what it was worth would know that you had no right to be handling it. I'm sure there are people who don't mind, but yeah, Reba tried to barter it in the same town and basically got dragged back by your ear.
Okay, now, I don't do a whole lot of thievery, but even I know not to do that.
She's not very smart. I don't know if you've... Right.
I didn't say it.
I think she'd agree. I hope she's that self-aware.
I didn't say it.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's just that conversation that's happening the whole time.
And Reba will actually turn to Garnet. Think I looked tough enough?
You did great, Reba.
Yes!
She's trying to look tough. At the same time, she's probably like so impressed by the power lesbians that she doesn't even know what to do with herself.
I mean, yeah, they're like at a couple points, Reba did have a bit of hard eyes, just kind of staring at this amazing power couple.
Mm-hmm.
Cool and tough and cool.
Oh yeah, I'm curious what the fuck is Maddox doing all of this.
Mannix is absolutely enthralled with his brand new staff.
Play with your stick right in public? Wow.
It looks a lot. It's not quite as bad as like when people fail, like YouTube fail videos of someone trying to be like a badass with a staff. But it's very clear that he doesn't know exactly what he's doing, but he's just like...
Love it.
Like tapping it on the ground.
Oh yeah, and so then the beginning, and you just heard the beginning of the conversation between Siobhan and Kira, and the rest is, what the fuck is happening over there?
He's never tried to actually use a staff as a weapon before, so this is interesting.
You don't say. I couldn't tell from his technique.
Hi-ya! Did you just say hi-ya?
You know, I've seen new recruits do worse, so...
Oh, this is worth the price of admission alone. Oh, jeez.
Another round, please.
And as the next round is given you to Kira, you quickly notice the bartender not charging either of you guys for the beverages, thinking maybe it had something to do with that sack of coin that was tossed to them by the two gnomes.
That tracks.
Yeah, I don't notice because I'm used to Kira, and I'm used to Kira and Mannix just having a shit ton of money and just like paying for stuff, and I'm like, all right.
I don't know how we always have money. I mean, we're wizards.
Man, I have to know their line at this point, don't I?
Make an insight check.
Balls.
I would say with advantage at this point.
I mean, Kira straight up told you on his birthday, so...
Yeah. Well,
I forgot.
We're more, this is more talking about for Mannix here.
Okay. Oh man, I have like 97 tabs open. Where is the correct one? Insight is that's a 17.
17. Mannix, just roll a deception check for me. D20 deception.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm not terrible at these, but yeah, that's not a good roll. That's a 7.
So okay, at this point, Siobhan, you've clocked that this whole thing about being a wizard with Mannix, yeah, not so much. That grimoire that he has, he doesn't refer to it often enough for that to be the source of where he knows and retains his magic, and it just doesn't quite add up to you anymore. We're going, okay, he clearly has these arcane talents. He did not come through them via book learning. There is no chance. You think he's definitely smart enough that he could have, but that's not what happened.
Yeah, we paid other people to take his tests. There's no way.
Fucking legacies.
All right, so we can diddle-do back to if we got waved back over.
Come on back. I'm really sorry about that, guys. I really didn't think they would just sit down and start talking to the whole table. I didn't tell you what was going on because I didn't want to involve you if it was going to make you uncomfortable. So that's how that happened and why that happened. Again, my apologies. But hey, cat's out of the bag. So we have something to talk about now and decisions to be made.
What it is
You
that they
guys
want?
ready for that, or
Anything that has anything to do with the, she actually, she will say this. No, I can say it out loud because they were saying it out loud, basically. Anything that has anything to do with the importance of imperial goods into the assemblage, I don't want to be associated with, because I do not want to accidentally associate my father when he would be completely innocent. He's worked very hard to have the name that he has, and I'll not be messing it up. Also, my mother would skip me alive.
understood?
I mean, you don't. No, I'm sorry. I want to make it clear. She would hang me upside down, so that my blood would rush to my head, so I would stay alive for all of it, and then she would skin me slowly with a spoon, a wooden spoon.
Oh, I hear those hurt more.
Noted, Siobhan. The task that they've set forth for us would be completely within Glimmershore and not have anything to do with the assemblage.
And this is...
Are you willing to hear more?
Yes. Is this to get you in good with them? This is a big...
Is.
This is a big step for you, is it not?
It is. But if you are at all, or anyone here is uncomfortable, I'm willing to take the steps alone.
I am willing to hear more.
Okay.
I slam down my mug of whatever it is that I'm drinking, or at least one of the mugs of whatever I'm drinking, because I probably got a few. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm in.
You have 6 mugs of different beverages.
I pick up another one and drain it. This one's good.
Akira, Mannix, Reba,
I mean,
are you all willing to hear more too?
yeah, I mean, to tell you the truth, I just went so it didn't look like Siobhan was just, like, ostracized from the group for some reason or something.
Oh, thanks. I was trying to act casual. I'm sure I did
Or
not.
not.
I'm sorry, I didn't blow up your spot, did I?
It's all good.
I have no chill.
Reba will speak up. Say, okay, 2 things. One, I thought you were super casual, Siobhan. Like, totally super cool. Like, great, hey. Second, they are so cool. You're going to want to hear all about this. Oh my goodness, they're awesome. I want to be like them.
I really did like her coat.
Wasn't it the best?
It was well cool.
First off, I was able to put pocket to them. That's my new thing now. Putting gold in people's pockets instead of taking it.
I think I maybe don't understand how thievery works.
Well, this was just to show how good I am without actually doing anything illegal. But anyway, I'm just bragging.
That's smart.
Like, you just see like a little kid like sad on the and you're like, they'd be happy if they found, a piece of gold in their pocket later on in the day.
Haven't mentioned how homesick I've been feeling.
I'm gonna try to pocket a gold piece into Siobhan's pocket.
Make a sleight of hand check. Siobhan, make a perception check with disadvantage, Siobhan.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Dirty 20.
With disadvantage, I have a 15.
So, because you clearly did not want to be aware of this with your needing to, point out how homesick you are. Yeah, Garnet, you are able to effortlessly, whatever it is, no problem.
See? Acting. I was like, can I deliberately fail? Because she would deliberately fail. Be like, what? No. I hope no money falls into my pockets, especially my right one, and stretching in such a way that it's open.
All right. So here's very simply, they have asked us to go to Tinkerborough. By the way, that's home. So even though we have 5 days to get there, we need to get there yesterday so that I can go spend some time with the family. But I'm not excited about that or anything. It's
There's
fine.
nothing more
cool.
important
I'm
than
totally
family.
cool. Right? And then basically take some goods from the forge and deliver them to the place, the Graceful House in. I'm sorry.
The Graceful Mouse in Gizmopolis.
The Graceful Mouse.
Yes,
in
I did not enunciate.
In Gizmopolis. So that means it's a couple days travel through Berryhaven to Tinkerborough, and then we'll need to get from Tinkerborough to Gizmopolis, which isn't particularly hard, but of course, this is also kind of a game / audition.
Siobhan, at hearing the mention of Berryhaven, you know Berryhaven.
The tarts.
Not just, there's a reason their team is called the Tarts, because the town isn't called Berryhaven just to be cute. So many types of berries are grown and cultivated there, and there is so many culinary delights you can find, sweet and savory alike.
You were using your player knowledge against them, and that's not fair.
Yes and no. Siobhan would know about this from.
You have correctly deduced that Siobhan shares my predilection for anything berry related.
So
I didn't know it until you just like berry.
So if we were to go there, do you think maybe there would be a berry tart do 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 berry tart do 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 do?
Amazing. There better be.
You probably have inspiration already, but if you don't, you should put it on there.
Might have used it. I did use it. I still failed last time, I recall, but
That's fine. You have it all over again.
Yeah, she says Berryhaven, and involuntarily you see Siobhan's eyes just get real big. Like, so we would need to spend some time in Berryhaven.
Yeah. I mean, like a day. Like, it's going to be a day to travel there. We'll probably spend the night, and then we'll have to leave the next day. So it won't be forever. Again, Tinkerborough is home.
Right. But, Berryhaven is close, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have enough time for a couple hours of shopping or something there. Yeah, okay. So here's the other reason that I might be doing this solo. There's another group. It's going to be a kind of capture the flag sort of situation. We can choose, or I can choose, to play offense or defense. So start with the goods and deliver them, or try to capture the goods and deliver them between Tinkerborough and Gizmopolis. Very strict rule in that there shall be no killing.
I mean, that sounds like it's a great rule to have.
The game! What the game? Does that need to be... Death chess!
Here's where that might be a problem. The other group is the low elves.
That is a terrible rule to have.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I am not kidding you.
What if they're not actually dead? Did they say anything about,
Don't leave a trail of blood. Killing is disqualification.
Blunt instruments only.
Reba's going to speak up. So, okay. You know how like, I have that whole connection to Hela. What if we don't kill them, but we just send them on a field trip to meet her?
I think I was very clear when I said on site. Kira, I said on site, did I not?
You did.
How seriously do you take this vow?
On site means on site.
I understand.
Yeah, I don't take betrayal well.
Oh, feck. No, I said, I'm pretty sure I said, if they didn't get out of the assemblage, it's on site. And they got the feck out of the assemblage. Ah, booger.
My threats were not geographically based.
That belongs on a t-shirt.
Hold on.
The idea is subtlety. Yeah. Obviously, we need to defend ourselves, but the idea would be to not get in a situation where that's necessary in the first place.
And wait, this is important. Wait. We're competing against them.
Correct.
So, if our team wins, then their team loses.
Correct.
And they don't get to work with the cool power lesbian couple.
Right.
I think, Kira, we should do it. We should do it.
I had another idea. Because you mentioned right at the top, I know what hat you're wearing, but the screen isn't really seeing it. There we go.
I'm sad. It looked like a yarmulke for a second there.
It does. I don't know what is happening.
Garnet, you mentioned at the start of this explanation that you could do it alone.
Okay.
So, what if, just hypothetical, you did this with, like, I don't know, just Pohaku and Reba, and or Manix. Meanwhile, Siobhan and I, at least, are not part of this. And so if they die, it has nothing to do with you.
There's spirit and letter of rules and law.
Yeah, I like to play by the letter of the law.
I understand. And I think spirit would actually make more sense in this situation. I am all for splitting up. I do think, though, that in my profession, we operate under the spirit a lot more than the letter of the law. Both to be respected and argued. I would say unconscious is not dead and killing. And Reba is very good at stabilizing. I do like the idea of splitting up, though. But the idea of, leaving their bodies behind was not letting anything get back to certain people, whoever that might be. And we are very well known to be connected. And so I think if they ended up dead, especially in this time period, it would still leave a trail that would get back to me and therefore could go on. That would be my concern.
I don't want to ruin this for you, but I really want to fucking kill them.
Yeah, Siobhan has a faraway look in her eyes, and, if you've been around her long enough to know that means that she's talking to Tana in her head, and they're having a spirited debate about murder.
So, I think
we embarrass them first, and then you can murder them later.
Or, I do this by myself, or maybe just Pohaku and I, and the four of you do your own parallel mission.
Reba is gonna turn to Kira. She'll say, I don't know how they do all sorts of stuff where you're from in the whole organized census law, whatever. But I do know about criminal shit. We beat them in this, and we take away this opportunity. We hit them where it hurts. And you wound a group of thieves' pride enough, they may want to settle it. We win this for Garnet, you might get your killing chance after all. In a way that can't harm Garnet in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. We hurt their pride bad enough, and they decide they want to make something of it. We didn't go and get kill crazy if they put a challenge out to us, and we simply accept. You met True Shot. You saw how much pride there is in her. This would be a second time that we could publicly, or at least with some sort of audience, beat and embarrass her.
But I don't give a rat's ass about embarrassing them. There is justice to be meted out, because betrayers don't live.
Sure. But you care about doing good things for Garnet, right? So we do something good for Garnet, and then we do justice.
I'm having to do a whole lot of waiting right now, and that's not my preference. But I'm not going to screw this up for Garnet.
Yeah, I'll drink to you on that waiting shit sucks. We can drink about that all day, because due to a certain someone who likes to be mysterious, and she halfway shouts at the ground with this, almost enough that a few heads in the bar kind of turn in her direction. Anyhow, I feel you on the impatience thing and wanting some justice, and believe me, if they behave the way I hope they will, you may get to let out a little of that aggression.
When Reba started saying someone who feels the need to be mysterious, Siobhan instinctively turns towards Mannix. It's like, oh, that's not her. All right.
So it sounds like a grudging acceptance of these terms.
I'm comfortable with embarrassing them.
You'll just have to remind me to not kill them.
Right.
Okay. I will do that. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Sean.
No, thank you.
We have to get to Tinkerborough within 5 days. It's going to be 2 days of travel. So, and while we're doing that, at some point we have to decide if we're doing offense or defense. So are we going to start with the goods and deliver them, aka defense, or are we going to try to steal the goods and deliver them? And of course, things can shift back and forth. Yeah. So if we lose them, we haven't lost.
It's up to you, and you know, you're much better at these things than I am. But I mean, I'd rather be in control of what we can control. If they're going to give it to us right out of the gate, let's take the thing.
Okay. And then,
sorry, I was going to say though. No, please go ahead.
I was just going to say, whoever starts with the goods, they don't, or whoever doesn't start with the goods, whoever starts on offense will get to choose who goes first, basically from Tinkerborough. So, once we pick a side, offense will get to pick who goes first, if that helps in the decision. But I'm I'm with Kohaku. I like the idea of defense and not having to try to find them in the first place.
I think it also fits our skill set better as a group.
I think they have, you have, a strong home field advantage being from here, whereas the rest of them are not. And even if they came straight down here, that cannot, since we last saw them, they cannot have been here more than, a month? If that?
Yeah, not even that.
Oh, I mean no disrespect to those ladies, but I have to say it takes them down in my estimation a little bit if they think the low elves are worth feckin' anything.
Yeah, I asked them if they knew that we had a history. I didn't get a good read on that answer, but I'm wondering if that's part of the test. That they were specifically chosen because of me. Or us.
Mm.
But we get to choose because we've got more to offer. But we don't have to decide that just yet. I mean, we can. Short of more discussion of it, though, I think I would choose defense.
It's really the bard wanker I want to punch in the nose. More than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, that's like bards in general.
You're not wrong.
So we've got...
I like being entertained. I mean, I don't want to contradict, but I never mind.
We've got the rest of today to make
You're
a
right,
decision.
Phil. We don't have to make the decision until we're in Tinkerborough.
Oh,
we've got 5 days to decide.
And what time of day is it right now, Bjorn? Is this morning? Was this like first thing in the morning, or I don't remember?
It was not long after like breakfast brunch. This would be kind of right around like midday.
Well, do we want to get started right away, or do we have business here? I'd like to give you as much time as we can.
Yeah, Garnet, you would know that if you like found some sort of caravan, like as long as it was like fairly light, maybe like single wagon, heading out of town, you could make it there by nightfall. You'd get in pretty late. Actually, it'd be pre-nightfall because we're in the winter now. But since you're kind of closer to like the equator of this planet, days aren't quite as short as they would be up north. It's gonna be dark when you get there, but you wouldn't be getting in at midnight. It would be like 9, 10 at night. You could find lodgings and get to sleep before it's the small hours. But you have enough days that if you wanted to stay here and just kind of chill for the day before, stay in Willowshire before you head out for Berryhaven tomorrow, totally on the table.
I'd like a full day at Berryhaven, or more time at Berryhaven.
Yeah, if we left now, we could do 2 nights in Berryhaven, so give it a full day and then leave the morning after the second night in Berryhaven.
What's in season now, do you think?
Lots of things. I don't know. It's getting towards winter. Blueberries, maybe? No, those are early.
You know the snowberries are good right now.
Snowberries.
Raspberries.
Who ever heard of Nosberry?
Sorry, I'm just confirming. So we're currently in Willowshire, and our immediate destination is Berryhaven.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay.
Well then.
Well, it looks like looks like there's a river here, and it goes almost straight to Berryhaven.
Yeah, if you found somebody who was taking passage down the river and was willing to kind of like go up on shore of the river there near where the road crosses over, totally could do that. Or if you guys have, other means of travel, you'd have to, kind of get up out of the river basin to get back on the road proper, but
I mean,
totally doable. We cut a little time off your journey.
I was thinking about this with the last bit of our traveling being so kind of impromptu. What if I don't know? I've got a little money to spend. What if I bought us horses?
Really feel like Reba should be asking right now. I mean, can the horses swim? Because
What if they were seahorses?
yeah, I believe in mode of Pegasus, so
Can I share a horse with somebody?
I don't see why not.
Then okay.
All
It
the
makes
last time
saddles.
about horses.
I thought we were thinking about looking at where I've written it down. Jarek Flickerlight looked into. He had that sort of horseless horse carriage.
Those are way out of our price range, and still kind of a prototype, if I remember right.
That was true. He couldn't mass produce yet.
But it would be cool to have that. I don't know, iron horse. I guess it's not iron though.
Right, an alloy or
Yeah.
have to be. And actually, Siobhan would probably be annoyingly specific about. Well, what I observed was the middle. Yeah, we know exactly what it was. And you're like, it was expression. Well, here's a thought. If the ladies told you that we'd be facing the low elves, they may be giving the low elves that same heads up.
I'm sure they would if they thought to ask.
Well, I'm just saying then, so anything that we're making really obvious plans about, like getting horses, or if we, arranging for a boat or something like that, we'd probably want to be real sneaky about it. Because if we do end up with your instinct of going on defense, better that they don't know what means of transport we have available.
We can make a boat.
Make a boat.
Right, with your spell that does the stuff.
You can make a boat?
I mean, you made a bed.
You did make a thicker. Well, I mean, and it was a very nice bed, but I mean, we couldn't all fit in a boat of that size, could we? I mean, I suppose she's doing Tetris in her head. No, Reva's too big. No, I mean, no offense. She's fucking tall. But no, I mean, a boat of what size?
Double check the size of it here.
Oh, Hawkins.
Large or smaller object contained within a 10-foot cube. I could also make us a bridge, but that doesn't help. But it could be much bigger than that if I'm making something that's kind of flat.
Well, we're not necessarily taking our transportation for how to get for the contest yet. We're just trying to get to Barricade right now.
To Barricade.
Yeah.
Right, sorry, ahead of myself.
And Garnet, you would know the fastest and easiest way to get from Tinkerborough to Gizmopolis would be to take the road from Tinkerborough down to the train station, and then take the train to Gizmopolis, as it can go on the elevated tracks which leads up to the Flying City. Because that is part of the trick of getting to Gizmopolis, is it is a flying city. There are certainly other
How high
ways.
is it flying?
It flies about 200-300 feet in the air. It can shift its altitude as needed with all like the gyroscopes. I mean, it doesn't continue like bob up and down like this, but it will sometimes shift its altitude. If they see their like storm fronts and whatnot coming in, they'll try and like, sort of get down below them.
And security to keep people flying on and off, is there that? Or do people just, if they can fly, they fly on?
There are certain like landing platforms where people sort of can do that. There are some arcane shields that kind of keep people from just sort of landing wherever. It is like the crown jewel of Artifice in terms of what keeps it in the air, and both its offensive and defensive capabilities. It's not a fortress city by any stretch of the imagination, but it is like well protected, and it does have some really interesting arcane shielding, sort of keep like large birds, I mean like rocks, from like colliding in with it. They'll just kind of like skid off of this, and it tries to repel them fairly well, also using some like various lights and whatnot. But yeah, it is possible to fly up there, and there are places to land. You have to clear your landing beforehand. Like, imagine any sort of airfield. They treat it the same way for a person as they would like a single prop plane coming in at a landing field. You would just need to be cleared.
Okay. To Berryhaven, though. So it sounds like the option was find someone with a boat, Paco builds a boat, or if we take a caravan to Berryhaven. Where would we pick up such a caravan or find the option?
Usually for that, you can sort of like check in at a general store, find somebody who's buying large amounts of, either selling large amounts of goods, or just find out if they're, allowing people to book passage on their cart, particularly people selling, as oftentimes they're heading back home to restock.
Okay. Let's go to a store. Let's see if anyone needs or wants accompaniment.
For sure.
Yeah, and the largest general store here in the town it's called By the Way, BUY. You get a lot of that in this nation. You get a lot of that here.
For some reason, a lot of pun names. Who can say why?
I like it.
No, gnomes like whimsy, man.
Happens if you eat too many turnips.
What's that?
That happens if you eat too many turnips.
Can't spell whimsy.
God damn it. And so, you guys are able to, it doesn't take long to find this establishment, and walking in, you will see gnomish woman behind the counter, fairly simple clothes. You can kind of see some age lines around the eyes. Hair is slightly mussed and dirty, and just kind of look up towards you all. Oh, welcome in. If there's anything you need, let me know. We have... She kind of looks at all these shelves around her. We have a lot. So, welcome. What can I help you with?
Garnet kind of looks around. Oh, we might need stuff, and just to see if folks are interested in actually buying something. We are looking for transportation down to Berryhaven. Wondering if you had any leads on someone who might be leaving for there this afternoon.
Oh, goodness. There was a farmer from there had come through, sold off quite a bit of goods. If you're hungry, we have plenty of those for sale. As well, sauces, pies, dried fruits, fresh fruits, all kinds. They're what we get in the import. Obviously not as good as what you get down there, but hey, they're damn good. They keep the best for themselves. Oh, the puppy.
Pixie.
Let's see here. Oh, what was his name? What was his name? Orcish fellow, tall, very. Like to talk a lot. Took forever to get his name out of him. It was No Bran the Broken. I imagine he'll be looking to head home fairly quick here, as he mentioned he wanted to get back to the homestead, so to look for a cart. I believe he had 4 draft horses drawing the thing, and the cart itself, you can't miss it, vibrantly painted, bright pink. Felt it went with the whole berry theme. I imagine talk to him if you're looking to book passage down there. Otherwise, wait around here until somebody comes in and sells us a bunch of shit. They'll have an empty cart heading out of town.
I'm going to cast the Psychic Whispers on, I think I get 3 of them, Kira, Pahaku, Shaban, and, you guys, if you need to purchase anything, do so. I'm going to run out and see if I can find, and Reba, come with me, see if you can find, this bright pink cart with 4 draft horses.
Sounds good.
I'll let you know where we end up.
And, so Garnet, when you head out, go ahead and roll a perception check or investigation, your pick. Reba rolled for shit. Even with advantage, she rolled bad.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. It doesn't take you long, as it's not the cart you end up seeing, but you see this tall, orcish gentleman, and you wouldn't think much of that alone, but you can tell there's just this one voice coming through the din of everybody out here that is continuing, and you can see, and you sort of watch this guy speak for about 30, 45 seconds, and quickly you can tell, like, this guy never shuts up. He's just miling with everybody he's talking to, and then you kind of watch over where, he kind of purchases some goods from a street vendor, and then he goes over and he buys a little food for another one, and you watch as he goes to the crowd, and you see where he kind of pulls back the covering on this wagon. You can see the brightly painted pink side underneath there, and he's starting to kind of get what belongings he has there in place, but you've definitely clocked him.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to run up to him. And are you No Brand?
Hey, that's me. Absolutely. You found me. I don't owe you anything, do I? No, I don't recognize you. I don't owe you anything.
No. I'm Garnet. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. What do you owe me? So I think. Oh, you were in the.
Nope, you've never met me. It's okay.
Never met you, so you don't owe me money. That's a shame. Do you want to owe me money? I have a few things. I bet I can find something here for sale. Do you want to buy? Do you want to buy half a falafel sandwich?
No. What I want to buy.
That's good. That's my lunch. You can't have that.
A trip for 6 of us down to Berryhaven tonight. I assume I thought you might be leaving for home tonight.
Well, I'm heading out here just as soon as I finish lunch, find myself a snack for the road, and let's see if there's anything else here that I really want to take home with me as a little memento keepsake or, goods of the trade, whatever. I imagine I should be out of here, though, as soon as humanly possible. Well, not humanly, orcally possibly, on figure of speech. You understand how it is. Language is weird. It's kind of fucked up. Nothing really translates well all the time when you're speaking common, so, it's kind of just accept sort of the colloquialisms of it. I don't know. It's one of those things. You get it. You understand. But there's 6 of you heading out. I suppose, now, would you, let's see here. I could give... no one can really sit up front. There's not a whole lot of extra room. Well, there is extra room up there, but that's kind of where I keep my snacks and whatnot, because I like to eat while I ride. Unless somebody kind of want to be there as a lookout.
I'm little.
You can also sit up front. That's fine. Yeah, no, you can
Okay.
be up there. The other 5 of your friends, regardless of how little they are, they're going to be in back. So, yeah, you want to get down to Berryhaven? You want to get there today? I would be happy to give you passage. Let's see here. So I would normally I like charge about 2 gold a head. There's 6 of you, so why don't we call it around 14 gold?
Huh.
Here, it's not there. It's fine.
How about I buy you an extra round of lunch and snacks, include that we offer security services on the way down there. Not that it's like a really treacherous road or anything, but it's always good to have like people like watching out for your back. And we call it 8 gold.
Done.
Okay.
Go
What's
ahead
your
and
favorite snack?
look. Any kind of sandwich, if it's handheld, I'm happy about it, because that way I can sort of steer while I'm eating. Because that's my thing. I like to multitask, you see, because if you're only doing one thing at a time, you're not getting that much done. And so the whole thing is you want to be able to focus on as many things as possible. I figure I got the 2 hands, so as long as each one's doing a different thing, I can do at least 2 different tasks. It'd be nice to have prehensile feet. Don't have those. Don't know where I'd get them. Or, some folks have those prehensile tails. That'd be real great. If I ever had a tail and I could use that to hold my sandwich while I was working with each hand, that would be a way to do things.
What if you just had like robotic tinkerer's arms on coming over your shoulders, and then you had 4 arms?
Do not create Doc Ock.
Doc Orc.
It was only 2 arms. It's fine.
That sounds cost prohibitive, but I like where your head's at, and that'd be pretty good. If you know somebody who could build that for me, I'd be real happy to have it, because then I could get even more done. If something was hanging on to the snack for me, that'd be great. Though now that I think about it, I probably want to actually use my actual hand for the snack, because some things have a softer consistency than others. Because if you got like a good, hard, crusty bread, you can put a little pressure on that when you're holding it. You won't do too much damage. But those soft breads, you can put your fingers right through that, and all of a sudden, you just got, grease or oil on your hands or whatever, and that's not so clean, and that's not as much fun to eat. I know some people say they like finger-looking good foods. I'm not about that so much. I like to have my hands clean when I'm eating, because my hands get dirty when I work, so dirty hands and all that, just not in the best place for me.
Okay. So we're gonna meet back here in an hour?
Even better, in an hour. Go ahead and meet me at the East Gate, because that's when I'm heading out.
Okay. I will see you there with my friends and snacks.
Good. Perfect. Oh, hey, just real quick, I do need to ask. Any of your friends, are they musicians by chance?
Not by trade.
Thank goodness, because the last time I traveled with some traveling musicians, let me tell you, they were going through a whole new series of artistic expressions. They were rediscovering themselves in a group, and I basically got to be the one orc audience for their jam sessions. They tried to find their new sound, and I'll tell you what, if they hadn't paid me in advance, I would have kicked them out of my car. But business is business. They had already paid me, so I couldn't exactly leave them on the side of the road. But I can definitely say, after listening to them for the better part of 7 hours, I should have.
Oh yeah, no. In fact, a lot of my friends prefer the quiet. So, I like to chat a lot too. So you and I can talk, but maybe just let them be a bit.
I mean, I've never been much of a conversationalist, but I'll do my best.
No. Don't try to be a conversationalist. Except with me and maybe a couple others. But you know what? Sometimes they just like it to be quiet.
I'll do what I can. So yeah, I'll see you at East Gate of town in about an hour, and I look forward to the snacks. It's been a pleasure meeting you, Garnet.
Nice to meet you too, Nobran. Okay, I'm gonna go find snacks, and I'm looking for not so greasy but well wrapped sandwich like things.
Glorious. And those of you who are back at the store, anything you guys are looking for?
I'd like to get, I don't know, like 4 castings worth of incense for Find Familiar just to stock up.
No problem. Yeah, just go ahead and mark the regular amount of gold for that off, and be able to find that, no problem.
What can I find in the toys section?
Oh.
That is a wonderful question. Let's see here. Why don't we go to this book right here, and we'll go to roll me percentile dice.
Okie dokie. 42.
The answer to the Earth, the universe, and everything?
Exactly.
Or the light, the universe, and everything? Wow.
Correct. So, what you find, like, just kind of looking through there, you find a couple different things. One of which is this small wooden dog, and on its back it has like sort of a clock motif carved into it. Looking at the belly, it has the word watchdog on it. And what kind of stands out most about it is this very vibrantly painted scarf on it. It at a glance, it's so well painted, like it looks like cloth. And when you touch it, see what it feels like. It's made of wood, like the rest of it, but just the shading on it, it looks like folded cloth. You find that. You also find a few individual toys. They look like they're part of a set or series of various soldiers or legionnaires, but none that seem to have any sort of like historical precedence. Like you can see one, it's a very like stylized farmer where it has kind of like a single-handed scythe in one hand, and it's got a shield that is a strawberry on it. Its hat is like a carrot slice, and so there are a few other ones sort of like that.
Oh my god, I can get Ted Lasso Army Men. Cool. Yeah, how much for the pupper and the set of figures?
So it is a set of 4 figures, and the pup, they're 2 copper a piece, so you could have all 5 for a silver piece.
Okay. I will definitely do that. And let me just see what I got in my head. Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pay him 2 silver.
And yeah, like each of these little figures, they each kind of have like a different weapon and a shield, and each shield is some sort of fruit or berry that's a different color. So you have like the red strawberry, you have the blueberry, you have the orange, which is an orange, and then you kind of have a purple, almost like a boysenberry or like blackberry.
Are these strawberry shortcake dolls? What's happening right now?
No, it's the same colors as the Ninja Turtles.
I never thought that I'd be writing down into my other possessions 4 fruity army men. But we're going with that.
Yeah, and there's no articulation on them. They're just carved wood, incredibly detailed, painted, with just a very, very, very slight durability enchantment, where if you would like drop it, it won't just instantly shatter.
Oh, wow. Somebody put some effort into this. That's so nice of them. I think that's it. I bought some incense last time, so I think I'm good.
Cool. Anything for the rest of you?
I would immediately be looking at the berry stuff, even though they told me, it's not as good as what's, left in Berry Haven. I just want to start emotionally preparing myself for the sort of things I'm going to be seeing.
And so, yeah, there is all sorts. There's a handful of different types of jerky that had basically been when they were cured. There was like a fruit juice in the cure. Finding a fair amount of those. Of course, you find all varieties of like tarts, pies, jams, jellies, preserves, marmalades. There is some actual fresh fruit, dried fruit, pressed fruit leathers.
I'm so torn. She gets some. I want some jerky, and I want some fresh fruit, just a little bit, like basically a day's worth, because I know we're going there soon.
Yes, you get yourself a small little basket of snowberries. Those are the most in season right now. They'll keep the best. And as far as the jerky, you're able to find it's a really nice, just very flavorful, like bison jerky, and it has been the curing process was with blueberry, so it's a peppered blueberry jerky.
And I'm just going to look around and see if there's anything, because I and Siobhan have just belatedly remembered that we told Ma that we would send home any, interesting ingredients or cookbooks, and, I've been busy trying not to die, and then wandering in the woods. So, like the first time, was like, yeah, just kind of poking around and see if there's any, anything like that.
Sure. Roll a d8 for me. Okay, it's not a fail. This was just to see like what exactly you found. So, what you do find, and you're quickly not surprised that this was the cookbook you found, considering this is a nation that has a huge amount of shore on it, hence the name Glimmer Shore. It is a cookbook specifically geared towards seafood. Large amounts of fish preparations, both as far as like grilling, stewing, and then also there is a small section in the back for curing and smoking fish as well. And then the part that is probably the most exciting is a section that is just a whole bunch of seafood soups, stews, and chowders.
I'm gonna flip through it, and because we're not far from the coast, but I'm not wanting to get her a cookbook that it's like, oh, here are all these gorgeous southern fish that you are not ever going to get up in.
And so, with a quick glance through it, there are a handful of recipes in there that you're like, yeah, she would never use that, as they're not fish that you ever see up north. However, most of the recipes call for a fairly general type of fish, where it'll just say, this is for a white fish or any fish with really firm flesh. And, while Ruby's Crossing is not right on the coast, it's just down the road from Port Pride. So getting in fresh seafood is not difficult. So for the most part, you think this would be a pretty worthwhile book.
Okay, I'm gonna get that too.
Okay, and so for all that all together, it cost you 3 silver, as the food goods are the more expensive amongst it.
And I reach into my pocket, and miraculously, there's this gold.
Oh, you do also find a really nice fish descaler. You can pick that up for another 1 silver.
Does my mother not have a fish descaler?
She has. This was just looks her
nicer.
Best.
Okay. Might as well.
I did think of one other thing if it happens to be at the store.
Yeah, what's that?
Just like a basic, like, painting kit. Like, like the little ones like a kid would have. Certainly not some sort of like a Renaissance master.
Yeah, the little white rectangle with the watercolors in it.
That would be fine.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. One of those cost you another 2 copper.
Cool. Well, I already gave him the 2 silver, so we're good to go.
Love it.
Specifically, while Pohaku was perusing the toy aisle, Kira would ask about how much fancy ink and paper they might have here.
They've got a little bit. So I mean, if you wanted to purchase some, like how much are you looking to get for yourself?
How much do they have?
I would say they would have. Oh shit! Let me look. Before I say how much it is, let me look at how much that stuff costs. Real quick, how much is? Let's see here. 1 ounce bottle of ink is 10 gold, and 2 silver pieces for 1 sheet of paper. You could get yourself, I would say, 3 1 ounce bottles of ink.
I just need to know how much it is money wise.
Yep. I'm gonna say 50 gold.
All right, yeah. I'll just buy them out.
Yeah, and you basically do. You know, the proprietress is like, oh yeah, we have. Okay, yeah, and sure, you can buy all of it if you want. Makes no difference to me. Go right ahead.
I will very much buy all of it. Do you have? I know this might be.
You're not going to ask about it. You're not going to ask about a discount, are you? Because
no, I was going to ask if you have like a little box, maybe some fancy paper that I can wrap it up in real quick. And I look back to Pohaku still in the toy aisle.
Yes, at no additional charge. You want that gift wrapped?
Please.
Check this shit out. You watch as she kind of puts it all in the box. It's a very, very nice looking box, you know, shiny exterior, and it's laying on top of a singular crimson bow. She steps back, she looks at you, and she snaps. Without even looking at it, you watch as the bow just goes up and begins tying itself firmly, and then this small tag just apparates on it. In case you want to do the whole to from thing.
You know, I might as well.
She'll slide the box over to you. Yeah, she slides the box over to you. Well, pleasure doing business. Anything else any of you all are needing, wanting, hoping to find?
Do you have anything in the means of a staff holster?
Like your hand?
I can't very well put my hand on my back now, can I?
Sling across the back. Got it. Sorry, friend. When most people ask us about holsters, they're looking for a hip thing. And let me tell you, if you try and wear a staff on your hip, you're going to fucking trip yourself. Let's see here. I have got... And the first thing she holds up, it is the sight of this thing, Mannix. You instantly know it would clash with your shoes. This just very ruddy brown, like back straps. I mean, this is the most simple one I got. This would work right here.
Would you perhaps have anything a bit more ornate?
Ornate, right? She picks up what you're putting out, what you're putting down, and she goes, got it. Let me see. Let's see. You are, this is your usual, look, style. Like, fuck it. No, that's not what we're going to do. We are going to... She moves a couple boxes aside, reaches back. I didn't think anybody was going to want this goddamn thing. So, tell you what. It could cost you a little bit, because the enchantment on it, but this is a self-accessorizing backstrap. And you can see it is just this like gleaming, like bright white, like almost reflective. She goes, "Put it on. Trust me."
Very well.
And, Mannix, you strap it over your shoulder, and it's got a place, a little hook to hold your staff on the back there, and you can see the part of it that's across your chest. The second you buckle it into place, you watch as the leather, it just perfectly matches with your shoes.
Well, this is... This is very nice.
5 gold, and it's yours, my friend.
Do you have any coffee?
What kind of coffee? Okay. Do you just need something to wake up in the morning, or are you like a coffee drinker? Because if you don't give a shit, I don't want to waste your time. But if you do give a shit, I have got the shit.
I have a standing 2-cup order in every inn. I am a coffee fan, we shall say.
Okay. In that case, yeah, I got coffee. I have got.
Do you have any prepared coffee?
Oh, you want something to drink right now?
For 5 gold, 2 coffees, and a straw.
Make a persuasion check.
27.
That's for you right now.
Check this shit out. And she'll roll up her sleeves a bit, and she snaps, and you'll see these 2 cups appear on the counter next to her. Now, this part will amaze you. You're never ready for this. She walks around to the other side of the counter. You ready? She reaches down,
ready.
she pulls up these 2 carafes and just pours the coffee into the cups. Ta-da! I can make the cups appear. Making the hot coffee appear, not quite on the list of things I do yet, but yeah, drink up. You can keep the cups if you want. They'll disapparate after an hour, so drink the coffee before then.
I'll leave them with you. Please and thank you.
And she'll make them disappear. Works for me. Pleasure doing business with you. And the other nice thing about that back strap for your staff, you can just kind of put it back there, suggest where it needs to go. It'll take care of the rest. It's got smart staff technology or whatever the fuck they call it. I don't exactly know how that part works, but it's handy.
The pleasure was all yours.
I didn't even tell you about the best feature. Do you want to know?
There's a better feature than the accessorizing?
Oh, honey. Absolutely there is. So, I'm sure you know that it's not convenient to try and sit down with a staff strapped across your back. But maybe you don't want to carry it, right?
It does sound cumbersome and laborious to carry things.
All you have to do is say the command word, comfort. That staff will all but disappear, harmlessly contained within the backstrap itself. Say the command word again, comfort. I didn't make the enchantment. I felt like it should have had a different one for the staff to come back, but the wizard who created the thing overly simplistic, it'll return to you.
Very good. I'm glad that it's only one word and not two.
Yeah, I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would have added it to my inventory if it was two. Not gonna lie to you. Well, journey well, and hopefully you find all the coffee you're looking for.
I'm doing my best to do just that.
We can only do our best, my friend. And unless anybody has anything else, as it gets near the end of the hour, you will begin to recollect yourself, Garnet having informed you that you would be meeting Nobran the Broken out near the East Gate, passage to be delivered down to Berryhaven, and yeah.
I'd also would have warned them that he's a talker, and to mentally prepare themselves for the experience.
It's alright, I've got earplugs left over from, what's his name? Gandos.
I wanted to make sure you knew what we were getting into.
You're afraid I put you in the face, weren't you?
I just didn't want any situations.
No, that's fair. It's fair. Bjorn, this is just a slight retcon, and it's something I wanted to get. It shouldn't be a big deal. I just wanted some, like, stationery, I guess? But, like, it doesn't need to be, like, fancy, like, for writing spells or whatever. I want to write some letters.
Like, just a few sheets of paper? Or were you
Yeah.
wanting, okay, yeah, if you're just looking for sheets of paper, it would be, if you want paper specifically, it's going to be 2 silver per sheet. If it can be extra simple, you want it to be like parchment, that's 1 silver per sheet.
Okay.
So, mark off for however many you need of those. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. No problem. We'll assume that you were able to buy your sheets of paper before Kira bought the place out.
I just need, like, 2. Alright.
And you will all see as this extremely tall, orcish individual walks up to Garnet. Hey, wonderful, you did make it here. You actually did want to take the passage. That's good. I was really hoping you actually meant it, because it's more fun to travel with people than by yourself, because sometimes you need company. I don't know, I never talk that much when I'm traveling with people. I don't know, it's just kind of one of those things. I never know what to say, so I always kind of get awkward and silent whenever I meet people. I don't know if you know how it is. You probably don't know how it is. You seem like you really know your way about stuff. Even be your friends. Hi, so I met Garnet. She seems fantastic, so if she's pretty great. Hopefully you all are pretty great too. Garnet's going to ride up front. I don't know if she explained. All the rest of you are going to be in the back there because I don't have a room for everybody up front. Like, you can't all sit up there. That's kind of how the card works. So lodgings are what lodgings are. Well, I guess they're not really lodgings. You're not going to be sleeping there. It won't take us that long to get there. But transportation is what transportation is.
Here are the snacks, you guys.
Oh!
Lots of sandwiches and stuff. Fun.
Oh, he takes one of the bags. Oh, you got falafel. He kind of leads down close to you, Garnet. We're friends now. He's going to go get situated in the cart.
Garnet will get up right.
Into the back then. Great. Mm-hmm.
But was some sandwiches?
Reba will very excitedly take one of the sandwiches.
There is only enough room for the 2 of you up front. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll be in the cart, but I will be like leaning over the front edge of it, trying to listen in to whatever the conversation is going on.
Oh, yeah, which is fairly easy to do because the back of the cart is almost completely empty, and so you can very much see and be seen out the front. And you quickly realize this front driver's bench, were it not so piled up with stuff, and by stuff, you can see this is a he obviously had this bench custom designed, and there's a spot for him to sit. There is kind of a spot for another person to sit if crap wasn't set there, and there are all these like various containers and whatnot. You can see that there are like canteens and bottles and places for various food and snacks to all be set up. Like he has full access to whatever he may need to eat while on the road.
Garnet will make sure to ask, like, okay, what are all these things? When you need something, you tell me, and I'll like be your co-pilot and get it for you.
So we kind of work by from left to right. We have what I call the sun up to sundown system here. So as you go further to the left here, like we would start with like double strong coffee, then regular strong coffee, then we get to tea, then we get to green tea, then we get to red tea, and then you're just kind of just getting on into that going. And then you got your herbals going on into the evening. Now underneath that, there's just making sure you're staying hydrated with water all throughout the day, because they say hydrate or dihydrate. That's just real important to always remember that. As far as the snacks, we start high protein here early on, and then you can have a little carbohydrate there as you get early on. Lunchtime, making sure we're getting into some actual fruits and veggies for all of that. You get on into dinner, making sure we're not eating too heavy. I usually like fish for dinner. I don't know about yourself. I think that's just the right time to have it. Give that brain food to help get you through the rest of the day. And then the little compartment over there is where we keep our sweet snacks for if you're having a bad day, you need to eat something to make yourself feel better. There's always chocolate in there.
I really appreciate this system.
Everybody should have a special box of chocolate. The cart will begin off down the path drawn by these 4 horses. I need someone to roll percentile dice for me for the first part of the journey.
Got it.
We're all looking at each other like, ooh.
73.
73. Let's see what we got here.
Does it mean?
7 Bodaks and 3 adult dragons.
Not
Did I have that backwards?
exactly.
7 adult dragons and 3 Bodaks?
So 73 is you're heading out of town. You're maybe an hour and a half out when coming up behind you very quickly at almost a breakneck pace, you can hear the voices they're approaching. Just we're going to be rich. We're going to be rich for the rest of our lives. Oh, we found it. It's amazing. And as you glance back, they're wearing clothes of sailors. Specifically, they look pirates. And kind of what's interesting about them coming up sort of behind you on the road is, like, when you came into Willowshire, like, the road goes east and you guys went due south at the fork. There's another fork north, and you guys are now on this south road. So they would have to come up from that road further to the north. And you're kind of wondering how long, like, Garnet, you knowing your geography here, you would probably wonder how long they had been on the road here and where their ship might be parked, because this road doesn't go like right up against the coast anywhere in particular, and there are no port towns in Glimmershore save Gizmopolis, but you wouldn't call it a port town so much because you would need a sky ship to get to it. But they seem very excited about whatever it is they have, and they're pretty close to pulling up alongside you all. They're moving a bit faster than all of you all.
They just seem happy, though. They don't necessarily seem like we're the treasure they found.
Make an insight check.
Okay. 12.
12. They're very boisterous, kind of hard to tell, but you are able to see like there are things glimmering on this cart of theirs, and the cart is a largely flat wagon. There's no actual covering to it, and there is a small like seated area up front, and most of them are kind of standing and just. You're impressed by their balance, that none of them are falling out ass over tea kettle at the pace which they're moving. And you can see all of them have like some sort of like paint on the side of their face. Like one's got like a handprint here, the other one's fully over this eye, the other's kind of got like this sort of like domino mask look. And as they get close and they kind of reach where your cart is, the one driving the horse will kind of ho, and they'll kind of slow up and pull alongside here, and you'll see one look over. You assume the captain, just from the long coat they're wearing and the tricorn hat.
So, sorry, real quick. So as they're coming, if they're like all hooting and hollering and just like super excited, like Pohaku's going to stand up and he'll just like start cheering at them. So from his place in the cart, he just starts cheering.
And so the captain turns to you, Pohaku. Oh, you having a good day too, are you?
Oh, I don't know what's going on, but you looked really excited, so I was just congratulating you on whatever it is. It sounds like you guys had a really good day.
Well, we only found the score of a lifetime, of all our lifetimes. Right, crew? And they're all, yes!
Yes!
You don't know who you stand in the presence of, do you?
Look at the group. Do any of you know him? I don't think I know him.
I'll lean over to Siobhan. Do we care?
Siobhan pulls out one earplug. What?
Never mind.
On brand.
Does the face paint mean anything?
Make a history check.
Can I join on that?
You would not be able to. Okay. Siobhan, you pulling out the earplug and looking up, you could also make a history check on this.
24.
24. Let's see if Siobhan also knows who they are.
I mean, I guess my history is shite. And it is. It's an 11.
Yeah, not so much you, but yeah, Garnet. See them? There's no question. You've heard of this crew. These are the Painted Raiders.
It's like, I just assumed they're sports fans. Sounds like they're Raiders Nation.
Kohaku. These are the Painted Raiders.
Hi, Painted Raiders. I'm Champion Pohaku Kahu, Esquire Proudhair.
Esquire Proudhair. I like it. Well,
thanks.
Allow me to introduce me to all of you. Captain Winston Tempest. Though you may know me better as my moniker, the Boar.
And then, so Siobhan in Kira's head immediately, is that B-O-A-R or B-O-R-E, do we reckon?
I have no idea. Just flipping through my fake spellbook.
I look at him with my mouth agape, but not really like. It's just kind of like, okay.
It's fine. Clearly you all aren't world-weary travelers. You're not truly enlightened in all the knowledge of everything this world has to offer. That's fine. Your friend here, at least knowing who we are, shows you got class. You got class, my friend. Tell you right now, I like that. We just so happen to find... We're not quite sure what it is, but we do know two things. We found a lot of gold with it, And we also know it's something special.
Did you want me to take a look at it? I'm pretty good at identifying things.
Well, I don't know if I can just hand over the spoils of our discovery to you.
Okay. I was just offering. You said you didn't know what it was. I'm pretty good at that, but that's cool.
What's it worth to you to get a look at what we found?
I'm gonna look over to Garnet, and then just kind of like my glance is going back and forth between him and her.
If you look in the back, it's this.
Yeah, you hear in your head, this isn't a good use of money.
Okay. So yeah, looking back and forth, and then all of a sudden, just kind of nodding. Well, I mean, I thought I was, and I'll say to the guy, sorry, I thought I was doing you the favor. So it's all good. Don't worry about it.
Hold on to that thought. And you'll watch as the captain turns back to his crew. And you can just hear him. Thinks he says he might be doing us a favor. Oh, Captain, if he's going to do us a favor. A favor is always a wonderful thing to have. You're right. It's always good when someone does you a favor. But then we might owe a favor. Oh, but then we would also have another ally. You know, it's always important to expand our network. So you want to do a favor for the captain, do you?
This is all happening at speed, right?
Yes.
I
mean, you guys aren't like, breakneck, like, racing. Like, it's pretty leisurely pace.
I will druid craft just a little flower into my hand and hand it over to him. I'd be happy to help out.
You hear in your head, by evaluating the goods, not a blanket favor.
By evaluating the goods, this is not a blanket favor. And I'll look back over to Garnet.
Oh, of course. You'd,
we talked about what my wisdom score is, by the way? Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm smart, but not that kind of smart.
very, very different kind of smart with this one.
I got a bridge to sell you.
The thing is, I could actually make bridges to sell people now. It's pretty cool.
Changes everything.
And you will see the pirate captains. Feast your eyes. He reaches into his coat. He goes, on this! And you see as he pulls up a deck of cards. He goes, that's not that. He puts those away. That's my lucky deck. Looking for
I used to have a deck of cards too.
This, and he holds up this iron horn. I know it's magic of some sort. I don't know all the details for it, but I can tell you now. We know it's something special. You say you want to do the favor of telling us what it is.
I'd be happy to.
And the captain, he will leaps up and he just kind of swings.
It is that we met each other on the road like this.
He swings over and he lands on your guys' cart, and his at that point, your I guess I wouldn't say benefactor here, but no, Brad's like, I didn't exactly invite you onto our cart here. Like, these guys are here just kind of like hitching a ride here. Not really hitching. They paid for the passage to go and get this way. But, if I didn't invite you, you weren't exactly invited. Just, can you guys just make sure that this guy doesn't cause, like, we don't need any kind of problems here or anything? It looks over at Garnet. Friend
and security.
Yes, you will make sure everything's okay. We are fine.
Have you run into these guys before? She'll say kind of under her breath.
Never once. I mean, I've heard of them, of course, but never met them. And the boar on my cart? That's pretty cool, I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
And so, Winston Tempest, he'll walk up to you, Pohaku. Tell me what it is, then. No funny stuff.
Okay.
Please and thank you.
No jokes. No jokes. Did you hear the one? Never mind. But yeah, I will. So it just looks like a metal horn.
Yeah, metal horn. You would know enough about the properties of iron itself. It's clearly made of iron.
Or you just point it in Siobhan's direction for a moment. It's iron.
Yeah, like Siobhan at a glance, like, yeah, it's iron. And as Pohaku reaches into the other half of his coat and pulls out this bottle, he just gestures everybody here. Rum? No? Okay.
Wait.
I feel like Pohaku is already beginning his ritual, so
Yeah.
he's not going to answer at this point. But
Authentic pirate rum?
I wouldn't drink no other kind.
I'd love to. Have you ever met this beholder who's a pirate?
I mean, I've never met them, but I believe I know who you're speaking of.
They had really good run at the Harvest Festival.
You met them.
I met them.
I'm sorry, it's not that I don't want to talk to you. I'm just having trouble processing this. You may have met one of the greatest pirates who's ever lived.
What was his name again?
Yeah, I'd tell you if I remembered that, but in my
I believe his name
hundreds of
was
pages of notes.
Speechless.
Thank
sounds
you.
familiar.
That was like
It
two
was, I just
notebooks
wanted to
ago,
I knew it
man.
was an adjective.
No, I found it. That's what I was trying to say. Check if this guy actually knew, because as I mentioned in the chat, I'm pretty sure these are just like the seafarer pirates. So,
Right. You all know Speechless, or did you just meet Speechless? Like, I don't know, like, no... Like,
We spent the night at their bonfire.
Speechless Bert. He actually has me calling him Bert.
that is amazing. I'm sure that, well, I will say this, I don't know if this rum will be quite as your liking. The spicing is my own personal recipe. I will say I've been experimenting with a few things over the years, and I think I've finally gotten it exactly just right. If you ever decide you want to have some of that with a meal, it does pair a little bit better with poultry than it does, say, with beef, for example. I think finely roasted pheasant, and that rum, a meal for the gods.
Delicious. I'll take a swig.
It's pretty damn good. Like, if this man, in fact, curated and created the whole spicing mix himself, well done. Well done. Very well balanced. Quite smooth.
Well done. Well done.
Well, I try to be as entertaining as I am clearly ferocious and...
Siobhan gets a little alarmed when he says entertaining, and she starts glancing at him for any sign of instruments.
Make a perception check.
That is 16.
Steve, he does have a harmonica on his hip, but
Oh,
this belt does have various things jangling off of it, so you don't know if he can like play the harmonica or if it's just a metal jangling thing he wears. Hard to tell.
yeah, because now I'm somehow picturing like the rest of the crew. It's like Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, essentially. Which is actually a bad example because that makes me want to hang out with them.
Like, and you glance over and like as this crew right next to you, as you're looking at them, I mean they're very clearly pirates, the whole group of them. But Siobhan, you kind of look over their faces, and it's not so much what you notice about them, it's what you don't notice about them. Because most of them appear to be like if we were to go in human years, like they look like they're of about they're of various species, but they're kind of the age of like humans between the ages of like 30, 40 mostly. So a lot of the face lines that you're going to have, they've really started to set in, right? And what you don't notice like furrowed brows. You don't notice like deep lines that look like anger.
Angry?
You see a lot of like smile lines around the eyes, for example. Like that's one of the things that clicks with you where you're like,
Happy pirates?
you kind of get the vibe that this group.
I mean, the ship's the Jolly Roger, right?
I'm very curious how much these pirates do.
Like you're getting a very Our Flag Means Death vibe from this crew. And while the boar here, you're not getting a steam bonnet here. This is not like a gentleman pirate, but you're kind of sort of getting a softened Blackbeard out of it. And Pohaku, you cast Identify on this thing?
Yeah, ritually casting Identify.
It's like you are able to do that, and yeah, you find that should somebody blow this horn, it would summon warrior spirits from Valhalla.
I thought that's what it was.
To travel or fight alongside of them. These spirits would stay for an hour, and then the horn can't be used for 7 days. And this one will summon, on average, 17 berserkers. And one would have to have proficiency with all weapons, though, for this horn to deem them worthy. But you're like, this is a horn of Valhalla.
Hey, this is a horn of Valhalla.
The boar will reach out to you. Like, he doesn't like trying to snatch it back, but he just kind of extends his hand.
Yeah, I hand it back.
For it. He goes,
Well, that is an impressive find.
Yeah,
do you hear that?
What I can figure out, it's something about blowing the horn, and then you're going to get a bunch of Valkyrie spirits. It's kind of neat.
and he blows the horn, and you watch as
I light up beaming because I was having an internal monologue about whether I was going to do that same thing.
Okay.
No, really, check it out.
And you see as 17 berserker spirits are standing between these two carts. And since they're spirits, like they're partially intangible, so some of them are actually somewhat crossed over with some of you all. And they kind of look about, and you can see
clipping happening.
there's a little bit of clipping happening here, and you can see like they're very well armed. They all have drinking horns in their hands. They kind of stop their drink and look around, and see as the boar says, "Warrior spirits, you're now in the presence and members for the next hour thereabouts of the Painted Raiders. And you only have one rule to follow when you sail under my flag. Well, the rule changes from time to time, but the rule right now, the one we're going to have is celebrate and drink up." And you can hear this loud cheer come from all these spectral berserkers that are just, you can see like their spectral drinking horns just refill. They're drinking them down. And
I kind of tug on his shoulder just as he's saying this.
Uh-huh.
We're not sailing right now. Is that okay?
Yeah, I know. It kind of occurred to me there. I was sort of winging it on what I was saying. I don't do so well with
I
my
just didn't
speeches when I'm
want
on
I
land.
just wanted to make sure we weren't getting confused or anything. But...
No, not what. That's like, well, we're land sailing.
You know what? You're right. We are.
And he looks over.
Sorry,
He looks over to the cart and he goes, "Up with the topmast!" And you watch as the driver of their cart reaches down, pulls this lever, and you see this pole just kind of extends, like folds up from the center, and then at the top of it, you see as the bottom splits and it folds again, and this sail appears on. The sail's not very large, but they now have this little sail. You can see there's this small black flag at the top of it. Now we're sailing.
Just feels a little bit.
I'm just gonna think over to Siobhan. That is going to get caught on the tree.
I'm just glad you're seeing it too.
Yeah. You know, it's weird because we've seen much stranger things, but this strikes me as stranger.
Do you think? I think this might be the strangest.
I mean, I don't know.
There's a spectral, I don't know if you're aware, but there is a spectral Viking warrior kind of halfway through your head right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to ignore it.
Uh-huh.
Just pretend
right, yeah.
it's not there.
Yeah, it's not happening, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm glad he's not mad about the misrepresenting, because he said Valkyries, and so he was probably picturing, beautiful women made of breasts and Mead, but,
Okay, I just want to think through one more time. You said the phrase "made of breasts and mead." Okay, yeah, okay, uh-huh.
I'm trying to put myself into his
know
head.
That they're not?
That's a good question. Are they?
No, the berserkers are not made of breasts and mead.
I'm writing that down as a possible title, by the way.
You watch as the boar go, well, as a pirate, I can't well board a vessel without taking something along with, and he kind of starts walking towards the front, and he looks to Garnet and Nobran. I was going to take can I take one of these snacks here for the road?
Well, sir, and she'll kind of look at Nobran. That is up to the captain of this vessel if you should partake. I believe you have been given quite a bit of knowledge to take back with you to your ship.
Sorry, I have heard Garnet's spiel on put pocketing. I am going to attempt to put pocket a little army man into his pocket.
Alrighty, make a sleight of hand check.
Cool.
You'll probably beat that.
21.
Yeah, you beat the shit out of that. And he's very focused. And Nobran, look up. Yeah, well, I mean, this is actually like really cool. Like the Painted Raiders. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit of a fan and all that. So, I'll just say this. I think I understand though, under the standard pirate bylaws, that since we're not raising our own flag against you, it's not like we're exactly against each other in any sort of thing. I don't know. I've done some reading here and there, so I don't think you actually have to plunder or not plunder us and not take anything and lose face and whatnot.
Besides, I think you already got something.
Oh yeah, so this you already got something. It'd be totally cool because that guy, I don't think he would lie about anything. Like if he was a liar, I think Garnet here would have told me about that. And since she didn't say anything about people being lying or untrustworthy, I feel like I can trust them pretty good. Plus, he gave you the information. I was listening in. That horn's really cool, so you should hang on to that. But don't blow it again too much. Cause I'm not the biggest fan of music, and especially people playing brass. Well, it's not really brass, but iron. I guess I heard. So it's kind of its own thing. Anyhow, you can have some chestnuts if you want.
And you could also look in your coat pocket.
Looks and he holds up the
one with
arm.
the orange.
Okay. Fine, this is fact. What if we could attach it to the bowsprit? That's a thought. Crew, we may have a new addition to the ship. Remember this day is the day you met the Painted Raiders, and you were in the presence of the boar. What do you call
to meet you,
yourselves?
boy.
Resistance is
Sisters!
Farewell, sisters. May the winds be forever at your back. And he will roll an acrobatics check for this.
Oh no.
He will go to just very showboatingly leap from one to the other, and he just lands just his gut right across the edge of the cart. Like, pull me in. And
So this is very dumb. But Kira would absolutely do this. While he's like hanging and doing the pull me up, I'm gonna subtle spell to just like keep my use of Mage Hand as invisible as possible. I know that the hand still shows up because I'm not an arcane trickster. And I assume he's got a bunch of belts and none of them are actually doing the job of a belt.
He's got a good heavy belt that does the belt job. However, the rest of his clothes, this is like a 90s X-Men comic with the number of just straps this dude has.
Because the hand would just on his belt just do a little tug to pants him if it can.
Make an Arcana check.
Absolutely. Hey, remember how Kira's 18? So that's right, I put points in Arcana. So that's gonna be a 21.
Yeah, so you're able to get there, and you get a little tug, and it's hard to see because he's got the big, like, flowing coat. You know, a good pirate coat, there's a little, the split on the back there, and the coat's kind of ridden up on his waist a little bit. It's sort of on either side of his body, kind of looking like, floppy wings. And so you kind of see, as the back of the pants fall down, there's just, like, full plumber's crack showing right now as he's pulled up on there, and he fixes his pants and fixes his coat and strikes a bit of a pose. He says, "We sail onward!" And they pick up their pace and they head off down the road past you all.
See, I picture like this is all happening, like there's all the shenanigans, and then Kira and Siobhan are basically Oluwande and Jim at the back of the boat, just like, should we help her? Okay.
Absolutely not.
Well, that was fun. They seem like nice gentlemen.
I wonder how they've been. I'm concerned a little because did you see? They did seem nice. They seemed very happy. There's no, mentions the things she observed about like no one had like the angry frown lines or whatever, which means they don't do a lot of killing, or no, they don't do a lot of killing, or they enjoy it very much and it doesn't upset them in any way, and that's concerning.
I mean, I wouldn't read too much into it. If they were, like, super into killing, they probably would have killed us for even knowing that they had that horn.
They could certainly tried.
But they didn't. They were just like, hey, cool, thanks for the info. Can I have some snacks?
Right. I was concerned for a moment when they just randomly summoned all the berserkers, but...
To drink with them! That is such a good use of that horn.
Oh, we should have asked if they could give us a ride later. Well, don't we need a boat?
No, that was just an idea.
Yeah, we don't need it for sure.
Getting back up by boat wouldn't work.
And we're gonna have to take a train or fly or something.
Yeah.
No, I meant for the Grace, or the where the fuck are we going?
Yeah, from Tingleborough to Gizmopolis.
We're going to Berryhaven right now to get some pies.
All the pies. So many pies.
Can I have somebody else roll me percentile dice for the next leg of your journey as you travel on for a few hours?
I'm on it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Go
Things
for
go
it.
great when Nathan rolls.
5.
How?
005.
5 on a percent. Okay, great.
There's the 00 and a 5. I don't.
This is amazing.
I'm gonna put all your percentile dice just in this little bad boy.
Yes, you travel along, a few more hours. Sun is well starting to go down. It's right near sunset, and Pohaku, you're the one who actually notices this. A little ways off to the east of the road, out towards the shore, you see this kind of small cresting hill, and it's a good distance, but just with the way the light's hitting it and how clear the day is, you're able to see there are a handful of figures on this hill wearing very druidic style robes, and you can see just one of them appears to be stacking a few stones in the style of like a cairn, and the rest of them you can tell they're performing some sort of funeral rites.
I will I'll probably turn first to Reba and just kind of point over in that direction and just describe what I'm seeing and the significance thereof.
She kind of looks at it. She touches her holy symbol, and Paco, you're able to hear her say this, and any of you who's standing close enough to her, if you were listening, you'd be able to. She's like, look, I know we're not exactly on the best of terms, but just guess I should let you know. Looks like somebody's headed your way, if they're not there already. Am I supposed to say something? I don't know. I'm not like that kind of. Yeah.
Oh no, I thought it might be something that you found interesting.
Oh, it's definitely interesting
with your ties. But yeah, no, this is a druidic ritual. I've seen this a lot. Well, thankfully not too often back home. Yeah, it just looks like they're just paying respects. And then I'll just turn to the rest of that's a druidic funeral ceremony over there. Just kind of point up to it. If you're ever curious.
I think that's pretty cool. You should pay real close attention to that.
For when one of us dies, or?
No, just because it's really cool and it's significant, and the more you can see it, I think, the more you should.
Oh, okay.
And as soon as Pohaku turns away, I'm gonna pull out the little present box for him and just start to calligraphy on his name to the tag. But I'm gonna specifically put on it Pohaku, Champion, Esquire, Proud Hair, Olurire, and then put it back in my bag.
And then
is there anything significant that I noticed that I would not expect of that type of a ceremony?
No.
Yeah.
It's just very clearly it's a funeral ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the last part of your journey, the sun has now set. There's a little bit of kind of purple left in the sky. The moon now high overhead. Someone just roll a d20 for me.
I'll do it.
Okay.
15.
15? Okay. I do need you to roll percentile dice as a result of a 15.
I'm very sorry. 38.
38. All right.
15 Bodax with 38 legendary resistance.
You're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to talk anymore. Just you need a timeout from talking.
Add that to your list of who gets dead arms.
Charlie Horse for
Charlie
Phoenix
Horse,
wouldn't
Tally
stop
Horse.
talking.
I thought it was. Okay.
Shows what you know. I named my horse Raoul.
Okay. I need you to roll one more d20 for me.
Oh, I hate this. Okay. All right. Which of you looks like you're in a good mood today? Hawk. God damn it. 9.
Okay. I need everyone to roll a dexterity saving throw for me.
Oh,
That's the worst number.
Is this an effect that I can see?
No,
Is
Congregation.
it a spell?
it definitely is not a spell.
Oh,
No dear.
21.
DC on this is 12.
Fail.
And I beat that on the dice, baby.
Wow. Okay.
So, as you all are traveling along, you watch
for fuck's
as
sake.
the horses seem to be spooked, and they kind of want to go in various directions. And you can see as you know, pulling back on the reins, just trying to keep them from totally full on panicking in massive nature. That Nobron is like, all right, no, hold on, this is good. Like, just chill out for a sec. And it's only a couple seconds later, you all figure out why they were spooked. Animals sometimes sense things before they happen, and the entire ground begins to rumble. And any of you that failed, you fall over and you fall prone. You will, for falling prone, you will take 2 points of bludgeoning damage, and none of the horses failed their saves, thankfully, and Nobran did not fail his save, nor Reba got a natural 18. Reba, strangely, is fine. And for 9 seconds, the ground just rumbles and shakes, and then it stops.
Well, that's just swell.
Nobran's like, oh, say this little bit of an earth tremor there. Everybody okay? Is everybody all right? Nobody fell out, right, or anything? We're all good. We're all good. Everything's fine. Everything's all right.
Yeah, I'm alright. Is everybody alright? Was that an earthquake?
Yeah, I think it looks like it was a little earth tremor.
You sure? Because I heard some creepy music. And no.
We fell prone. We stayed in the carriage.
It stayed in. It was fairly minor shaking, not bad enough. Anything would bounce out. If there were like other things in here taking up more space, you might have tumbled out. But there's a lot of space, like fall and land flat.
That's good.
Is that a normal occurrence for around here?
They happen from time to time. Like, not like super normal, but it's not also one of those things where we're like, oh my goodness, no one's ever heard of this. It must be, the most strange thing. I mean, yeah, you know how it is. I'm guessing that the basin must have gotten full, and all of you would know the reference on that is in Norse myth when the deceiver Loki was chained to a rock within a cave. His wife would hold this basin over his face because a snake would drip venom into his face. But whenever the basin became full and she would empty it, that venom would go into his eyes, and that causes earthquakes.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is strange, but you have seen stranger things.
Give yourself inspiration.
I'm going to take a minute here in the cards here, and going to pull out mistletoe. And I haven't spent any charges yet today, so I am actually going to take 1 minute and spend all 5 charges to do a commune with nature, and find out about powerful celestial fiends, elementals, or undead. What would I consider gods of this type? Would they be considered celestial, fae?
We'll call the gods celestial, for lack of a better term.
So I will, These powerful celestials, influence from other planes of existence. And then I will also get a third one. Buildings. Why not? And so this is within 3 miles.
Within 3 miles. And so it's powerful celestials, celestial influence, and buildings.
Just influence from other planes of existence.
Influence from planes of existence. Okay. Powerful celestials, influence from other planes, or buildings within 3 miles.
Correct.
So, taking mistletoe in your hand, reaching out your senses to the land itself, I don't know if relief is the right word, but you may feel a sense of relief or calm in that instantly, as you commune with nature, you know this was a tremor. This was not some spell that was cast. This was not an attack by anything. This was not a warning by some flunky of the Earl King. This was a tremor. And that tremor has passed. You do also pick up, as you all have crossed past the river that is between Willowshire and Berryhaven, the river that Willowshire actually is on the edge of. And Berryhaven is just off in the distance. Y'all are almost there. There is about 2.5 miles west, so further inland, there is a small structure there, small building, dwelling there. You get the sense it's fairly well maintained. You don't pick up the presence of any celestials, but I would say you are now within 3 miles of Berryhaven. So as far as influence from other planes, you pick up on the secret of Berryhaven. And this would be a thing that very, very few people know, is there's a reason vibrant, lush berries grow here year-round. This place was once, centuries and centuries ago, specifically touched and blessed by Freyr, the god of the harvest, who came here, planted a small bush of berries that lies the center of the town amongst this giant garden that takes up almost the entire real estate of the town itself, all the settlements of Berryhaven existing largely in a ring and then like in a cross shape going through it. But then at the dead center, where all these lingonberries grow, there's a bush of lingonberries that bears fruit year-round, because the initial piece of it was planted by Freyr, and that enchanted all of the soil thereout, and that's why Berryhaven has the yield that it does.
I will, so while holding on to mistletoe, kind of casting this commune, all that information kind of floods into me, and just take a moment, kind of catch my breath again, and put the hilt up to my lips and give it a kiss before sheathing it again. Turn to the group. Well, good news is I can absolutely, that was tremor. There's no presence of the gods in any immediate way. And I also, we're only a couple of miles out from Berryhaven. Looks like we're almost there. The information about Freyr's blessing. I am definitely not sharing the specifics of the bush itself. That feels like something that would seem very important and worth keeping secret. So I am definitely holding on to that. But I will say, the town does seem to. This isn't what I was looking for, but I'll look to Garnet. Did you know that Berryhaven was actually blessed by Freyr?
I mean, no, but that totally makes sense.
Never been here, but yeah.
That's very cool.
Just thought it. Yeah. I guess that does make sense, doesn't it?
This is why their berries really are the best. They're berries of the gods.
God berries.
And with that,
Vaughn's bouncing up and down a little bit, just a little bit in her seat.
the slight bounce of the cart as you ride the last little stretch as you enter town, the sprawling fields of berries that take up most of the real estate of Berryhaven. Before you, welcome to Berryhaven, and that's where we'll pick up next time we play, as you guys can find some lodging and figuring out how long you're going to be here before you take your next step off to Tinkerborough. But that's for you to think about there. That's for then, and we will see, though I imagine there'll be very little, I say it every time anyways, what chaos awaits. I'm sure it'll be berry-rific.
Oh no.